Welcome to our deep dive into the world of AI.
AI.
Yeah.
AI.
So we're going to be looking at some insights from Mo Gawdat, the former chief business officer at Google X.
Oh, wow.
And you're interested in this because you really want to understand the good and the bad sides of AI.
Yeah, the good and the bad.
The yin and yang of AI, as they say,
As
and
they
how
say.
it could potentially affect your life and your future.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think Gawdat is the perfect person to really lead this deep dive for us because he was right at the forefront of these innovations at Google X.
He was right there in the action, yeah.
So first of all, he talks about AI's evolution.
Right.
And he doesn't see it as this steady progression of like small increments of improvement. He actually sees these big leaps, and he points to a specific time in the early 2000s
Interesting.
as a turning point.
Oh,
The dawn of machine learning and deep learning.
now, that was a huge shift because you think about it, before it was all very kind of rule-based programming. If
Yeah.
this, then that very specific,
Right.
right? But machine learning, deep learning, suddenly machines are learning on their own.
Oh, wow.
That's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And that's really what paved the way for the powerful AI systems that we have today.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, myself included, I've kind of been hearing about AI for a while, but I really didn't understand that it was like a specific time period
Right.
when things really shifted
Right.
from rule-based to like self-learning machines. And I think that that's
Yeah, and
that thing.
that's a real kind of point of no return, I think, in a way.
Yeah, and that leads us to another big question that Godot doesn't shy away from at all.
Oh, yeah.
This whole concept of artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
AGI.
So it's not just AI that does like specific tasks anymore, right?
Right.
It's AI that could potentially outperform humans across the board.
It's a whole different level of AI. It's a super intelligence, as some people call it.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to even imagine what that would look like.
Mm-hmm.
But it has the potential to solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But also to create a lot of problems if we're not careful.
So it's like, it's a real double-edged sword.
It's the double-edged sword we were talking about in the beginning, right?
Absolutely.
And some experts believe that AGI could be a reality within our lifetime.
Within our lifetime.
Which I find incredibly interesting and also
Actually mind-blowing, right?
a little scary.
Yeah.
A little scary.
It's exciting, and it's a bit frightening all at the same time.
Yeah, it's definitely a mixed bag. And I think about like, how would we interact with this intelligence? Could we even control it?
Right, those are the big questions.
Yeah, those are the really big questions.
I'm curious, what are your initial thoughts on that? I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think when you hear about AGI?
Well, my first thought is that, it's exciting to think about the potential,
Right.
right? I mean, we're talking about solving problems that we as humans have not been able to solve for centuries,
Mm-hmm.
millennia even.
Absolutely.
But at the same time,
Like I was saying earlier, a little voice in the back of my head is saying, hold on, what about the unintended consequences?
Right.
What if we lose control?
yeah, it's like opening Pandora's box, isn't it?
It is. It is. And I
know,
think that makes it all the more important that we are having these conversations.
Absolutely. Now is the time to be having these conversations.
Yeah, and we need to be having them, from a place of understanding.
Yeah, we need to be informed.
Yeah, we need to actually understand how this technology works.
We need to understand the potential risks and the benefits.
Right.
And we need to be thinking about how we can mitigate the risks
Yeah.
while maximizing the benefits.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Gawdat emphasizes that point.
You too?
Because it's easy to get caught up in the hype.
Yeah.
AI this, AI that.
It's everywhere you look.
It's everywhere, but we really need to take a step back and say, okay, what does this actually mean?
Yeah, what are the implications?
What are the implications?
Not just for our lives,
Yeah.
but for society as a whole.
Exactly.
And I think one of the things that makes it even more challenging,
Is that the pace of AI development
Yes.
is mind-boggling.
it's astonishing. I mean, Gawdat points out that AI intelligence is essentially doubling every 5.7 months.
5.7 months.
5.7 months.
That's less than half a year.
Think about that.
Yes.
It's an exponential growth rate,
Yeah.
and it means that AI is evolving much faster than we humans are used to.
That's what's scary. It's
Right.
like we're trying to understand something that's already moved on.
It's like trying to hit a moving target.
Exactly. And, I think about the implications of that on warfare, surveillance,
The economic system.
economic systems, like
Even our democracy.
all these critical areas of our society.
And the problem is that our understanding
Yeah.
and, frankly, our control
Right.
might lag behind.
Yeah.
AI is advancing so quickly that we may not have time to develop the necessary safeguards to ensure that it's used responsibly.
That is the stuff that keeps me up at night. Because we can't just hit the pause button. Right?
Yeah, there's no stopping it.
This is happening whether we like it or not.
It's a force of nature at this point.
It's like a runaway train.
And we need to figure out how to steer it.
Yeah, it's not about stopping it. It's about making sure that we are steering it in a direction that benefits humanity.
Exactly. And that's where Gawdat's perspective gets really interesting.
Right.
He argues that the key is not to fear AI, but to understand it.
I like that a lot. That makes me feel...
Yeah, it's about empowerment.
Yeah.
It's not about being a victim of technology,
Mm-hmm.
but about being a master of it.
So how do we do that? How do we start to really understand this force?
Well, Gawdat points to some incredible examples of AI being used for good.
Right.
And one that really stands out is AlphaFold.
AlphaFold, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's an AI that's revolutionized our understanding of protein structures.
So what does that even mean?
Well, proteins are the building blocks of life. They're involved in almost every biological process.
Yeah.
And understanding their structure is crucial for things like drug development and disease research.
Oh, so this is a big deal.
It's a huge deal. And what AlphaFold did was decipher the structures of a staggering 220 million proteins.
220 million.
220 million. More than scientists had managed to map in all of human history.
Wow, I am blown away.
It's mind-boggling, right?
It is.
And it's just one example of how AI can be used to accelerate scientific discovery.
Yeah, so we're not just talking about incremental progress here. We're talking about a potential paradigm shift
Yeah.
in how we approach some of the biggest challenges facing humanity.
Exactly. And AlphaFold is really just the tip of the iceberg. Gawdat argues that AI has the potential to solve problems that have plagued humanity for centuries.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
Well, think about scarcity. The idea that there's not enough to go around.
Right.
And that we have to compete with each other for resources.
Right.
Gawdat believes that AI can help us create a world of abundance.
Oh, a world of abundance.
Where everyone has access to the things they need to thrive.
I love that.
And he gets pretty specific here. He talks about AI-powered nanotechnology. The ability to manufacture goods at almost zero cost.
Wow.
Imagine a world where everyone has access to food, clean water, shelter.
Yeah.
All the basic necessities.
That's so...
It's a radical idea, isn't it?
It is.
But it's one that Gawdat believes is within our reach.
It's definitely a world I want to live in.
Me too.
But, you know, I wonder, what would that even look like? How would society function if our basic needs were met effortlessly?
It's a question that challenges our fundamental assumptions about how the world works.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
But isn't that the most exciting part?
Yes.
We're on the cusp of a technological revolution that could redefine everything we thought we knew about human society.
I agree. I totally agree. And before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to touch on one more aspect of AI's potential, and that is its impact on human connection.
Oh, that's a fascinating one.
I know you're particularly passionate about this, so tell me,
I am.
What does Gawdat have to say about it?
Well, he believes that AI could actually help us connect with each other in more meaningful ways.
I love that.
Imagine a world with universal translators that break down language barriers effortlessly.
Oh.
Think about AI tools that help us understand each other's emotions, communicate more effectively, even navigate complex social situations.
So we're talking about AI not just doing things for us, but helping us connect with each other on a deeper level.
And Gawdat argues that this could lead to a more empathetic and understanding world.
Okay, now that is mind-blowing.
It's a powerful vision, isn't it?
It is. It's almost like AI could help us unlock a whole new level of human connection.
And I think that's a perfect segue into the next part of our deep dive, where we'll explore how we can prepare for this rapidly evolving AI-driven future and make sure we're ready to embrace its potential.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Buckle up.
I can't wait to see what's next.
It's going to be a wild ride.
Until next time.
Welcome back to our deep dive into AI with Mo Gawdat. We've been exploring some pretty mind-blowing possibilities, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, every time we unpack one of Gawdat's insights, 10 more questions pop up. It's exciting, but also kind of overwhelming, you know?
I get it. It can definitely feel like drinking from a fire hose, but that's kind of the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gawdat wants us to grapple with these big ideas, to really engage with the potential and the challenges of AI.
Right, he's not just saying, hey, AI is coming, deal with it. He's challenging us to be active participants, to make conscious choices about how we shape this future.
Exactly, and I think that's so important because it's easy to feel powerless in the face of this rapidly advancing technology. Like it's this unstoppable force that's going to determine our destiny whether we like it or not.
But Gawdat is saying we have agency, we have a voice, we can steer this thing in a direction that benefits humanity.
And he's not just talking in these vague generalities either. He gets really specific about the kind of world we want to build with AI. For example, he talks a lot about the future of work.
Okay, that's a big one, and I know a lot of people are anxious about that, myself included. Are robots going to take all our jobs?
That's the million-dollar question, right? But Goddard's view is more nuanced than that. He acknowledges that AI will undoubtedly change the nature of work, but he doesn't see it as a simple humans versus machines scenario.
So it's not like we're all going to be out of work tomorrow.
Not necessarily. Goddard believes that AI will automate certain tasks, for sure, but it will also create new opportunities and augment human capabilities in ways we can't even imagine yet.
Okay, so it's more of a transformation than a complete takeover.
Exactly. And I think the key for us is to adapt to this transformation, to be proactive about developing the skills and mindsets that will thrive in this new world of work.
So how do we do that? What kind of skills will be valuable in a world where AI is doing more and more of the heavy lifting?
That's where Goddard's emphasis on lifelong learning comes in. He believes it's no longer enough to learn one skill and coast on that for your entire career. The pace of change is too rapid. We need to constantly be learning, adapting, and upskilling.
So what does that look like in practice? Are we all going back to school every few years?
It's not necessarily about formal education, although that can certainly be part of it. It's more about cultivating a mindset of continuous learning. Stay curious about the world around you, particularly in fields related to your work. Seek out new information, experiment with new technologies, and be willing to step outside your comfort zone.
So it's about embracing change and seeing it as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat.
And it's not just about technical skills either. Goddard argues that uniquely human qualities like creativity, critical thinking, empathy, and the ability to build relationships will become even more valuable in an AI-driven world.
That makes sense. Those are the things that AI, at least for now, can't replicate.
Exactly. So while it's important to stay up to date on the technical aspects of AI, it's equally important to cultivate those human skills that will set you apart in a world where AI is handling more and more of the routine tasks.
I'm starting to see a picture emerge here. AI as a tool, a partner even, that can help us reach new heights as humans if we approach it with the right mindset.
And it leads us to another crucial aspect of Goddard's message: the importance of using AI to solve real-world problems and make a positive impact on the world.
We've talked about AI's potential in the abstract, but I'm curious to hear about concrete examples of how it's already making a difference.
One area where AI is showing incredible promise is healthcare. We generate massive amounts of data in healthcare every day, from patient records to medical images to clinical trial results. And AI is incredibly good at analyzing and making sense of all that data, which can lead to breakthroughs in diagnosis, treatment, and drug discovery.
I've heard about AI being used to detect diseases earlier, but what else is it capable of in this field?
Think about personalized medicine. AI can analyze a patient's genetic makeup, medical history, lifestyle, and even environmental factors to develop highly individualized treatment plans.
Wow, so we're talking about medicine that's tailored to each person's unique needs and circumstances.
And AI is also being used to develop new drugs, assist with surgery, monitor patients remotely, even provide companionship to the elderly. The possibilities are really endless.
So healthcare is clearly a big one. What other areas are seeing the transformative power of AI?
Education is another exciting area. Imagine AI-powered tutors that can personalize learning experiences for each student, adapting to their pace, providing instant feedback, and helping them master concepts more effectively.
It's like having a private tutor available 24/7 tailored to your specific learning style.
And it's not just about students. AI can also help teachers by automating tasks, like grading, freeing up more time for them to focus on personalized instruction and mentoring.
So again, it's not about AI replacing humans, but augmenting human capabilities and creating a more effective and engaging learning environment.
And let's not forget about the environment. AI is being used to monitor deforestation, track endangered species, optimize energy consumption, and develop new sources of renewable energy.
So it's playing a crucial role in our efforts to address climate change and protect the planet.
Absolutely. And these are just a few examples. AI is also improving our everyday lives in countless ways, from voice assistants like Siri and Alexa to self-driving cars, to personalized recommendation engines.
It's amazing how AI has become so seamlessly integrated into our lives, but I also keep coming back to the fact that with great power comes great responsibility.
As AI becomes more powerful and pervasive, it's more important than ever that we use it wisely and ethically.
So how do we ensure that? How do we steer AI in a direction that benefits all of humanity?
Well, Gawdat argues that it starts with understanding AI, its capabilities, and its limitations. He also emphasizes the importance of engaging in open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of AI.
Deep dives like this one are a good start. But what else can we do?
Think about your own sphere of influence. Are you using AI in a way that aligns with your values? Are you supporting companies that are developing AI responsibly? Are you advocating for policies that promote ethical AI development?
Those are great points. It's about taking personal responsibility for the role we play in shaping this technology.
And it's about remembering that the future of AI is not predetermined. It's a future we are creating together through the choices we make today.
I love that. It's a call to action, an invitation to be active participants in shaping this incredible technology.
It is. And I think that's a perfect segue into the next part of our deep dive, where we'll explore some specific steps we can all take to ensure that AI is used for good and that we create a future where humans and AI can thrive together.
I can't wait. Until next time, keep those minds open and those imaginations soaring. Who knows what incredible possibilities await us in this AI-powered world? Welcome back to our deep dive on AI. It feels like we've gone down so many rabbit holes.
I know, right? It's amazing how one question just leads to like 10 more.
Exactly. And yet, the more we explore Gawdat's insights, the more optimistic I feel about the future.
I'm with you there. It's not all doom and gloom, right?
Not at all. He paints a pretty compelling picture of how AI could be this incredible force for good.
And it's not just about the potential, it's about the choices we make.
Right. He keeps emphasizing that we're not passive bystanders in this AI revolution. We actually have the power to shape the future.
And that's what I find so empowering. We're not just along for the ride, we're at the wheel.
So let's talk about those choices. We've covered a lot of ground, but I'm wondering, what does all this look like in practice? What concrete steps can we take to prepare for this AI-driven future?
Well, I think the first step is simple, really. It's about cultivating a mindset of curiosity and continuous learning.
That sounds easy enough.
It is. Read books, articles, blogs, listen to podcasts like this one, take online courses. The point is to stay informed about what's happening in the world of AI.
Makes sense. But it's not just about technical knowledge, right?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
We also need to develop those uniquely human skills that will be even more valuable in a world where AI is handling more and more of the routine tasks.
Okay, so remind me, what are those skills again?
Think creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, empathy, the ability to build strong relationships.
Got it. These are the things that AI can't replicate.
At least not yet. So while it's good to understand the technical side of AI, it's equally important to nurture these human qualities.
It's like finding that sweet spot where human ingenuity meets AI capability.
Exactly. And that brings us to another important point. It's not just about individual skills. It's also about creating a society that supports human-AI collaboration.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Well, for starters, it means having open and honest conversations about the potential impact of AI, both the good and the bad.
So we need to keep talking about this stuff.
Absolutely. And we need to involve a diverse range of voices in those conversations. Ethicists, policymakers, technologists, everyday citizens.
So everyone has a role to play.
And we need to develop ethical frameworks and guidelines for AI development to ensure that AI aligns with our values and goals as a society.
That's a big one. It's not just about the technology itself. It's about the principles that guide its use.
And I think it's also important to remember that AI is not this monolithic force. There are different types of AI, different approaches, different applications.
So we need to be nuanced in our thinking about it.
And we need to be proactive. We can't just sit back and wait for the future to happen to us. We have to shape it.
I love that. It's a call to action.
It is. And I think it's a hopeful one because it suggests that we have agency. We're not just cogs in a machine. We have the power to create a future where AI benefits everyone.
That's a future I want to be a part of.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I think Gawdat's insights give us a roadmap for how to get there. It's about understanding AI, embracing lifelong learning, cultivating human skills, and using AI to solve real-world problems.
It's a lot to think about, but it's also incredibly exciting, don't you think?
It is. We're living in a time of unprecedented technological advancement, and AI is at the forefront of that change.
It's a wild ride, for sure. but it's one I'm glad we're on together.
Me too. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the world of AI. It's been an incredible journey.
And thanks to you for listening. We hope you found this exploration insightful and thought-provoking. Until next time, keep those minds open and those imaginations soaring.